The history of the NBA is full of players who failed to live up to their pre-draft or rookie season hype and achieve their true potential. While many such cases are a result of injuries, acquiring bad habits on losing teams, and a lack of the inner drive which conversely all greats have, there are some rare instances that defy common sense and are related to a lack of ambition which not a single fan will forgive. One of those who falls in this category, unfortunately, is Tim Thomas. So let's check out his story. What up everybody, my name is Stefan and this is Heat Check. Let's get into it. Such was his dominance in high school in 1996 that he was a McDonald's All-American and even legitimately toyed with the idea of heading directly to the pros. In the end, however, he went to Villanova with performances there in the 97 season, resulting in him being selected 7th by the New Jersey Nets, though they traded him to the Sixers. In his rookie year, next to Allen Iverson, he had solid averages of 11 points and 3.7 rebounds in just 23 minutes per game. However, what was really striking was his 3-point shot, that is, his 36.3% from deep, and in that period, it was not that common for a player of his build to have such accuracy. Needless to say, many felt that Thomas was the next sure thing. That, however, turned out to be false as a huge sophomore slump forced the Sixers' hand and he was traded to the Milwaukee Bucks. It was during the 99-2000 season for George Karl's group where the forward once again showed many flashes of his potential, with 11.8 points and 4.2 rebounds per game, accompanied by 34.5% from deep. He finished runner-up in the 6th Man of the Year race, and all of that was a clear reason for the Bucks to make him their free agency priority. They signed him to a whopping $67 million contract, but he failed to live up to those high expectations, though his further stint in Wisconsin wasn't bad statistically, with about 13 points per game from 01 to 04, coupled with 4.5 boards per game in that period, and perhaps most eye-catching, almost 37% from deep. Bucks management weren't happy, even though the early 2000s, especially 01, are considered a bright spot in the franchise's history when they made it all the way to Game 7 in the Eastern Conference Finals against Allen Iverson and the Sixers. His teammates seemed annoyed as well with his lack of work ethic. Years after this period, Ray Allen said that Thomas could have been the league's best player if he wanted to. At best, this is a backhanded compliment. At worst, it gives huge credibility to all of those who claim to this day that Thomas lacked the ambition to achieve his unquestionable talent. Thomas, who was with the Knicks at the time, wasn't all that happy with Allen's stand. He fired back saying that he'd like to choke Allen the next time he sees him. He added that Ray, Sam Cassell, and Glenn Robinson failed in the clutch during the playoffs, accusing Cassell of having been jealous of his $67 million contract. Thomas's stay with the Knicks was somewhat uninspiring, which was also the case when he ended up with the Bulls. It was as though everyone had given up on him, but then an unexpected big break. In 06, the Phoenix Suns needed big man help in the playoffs when Amare Stoudemire went down with an injury, and they signed Thomas after he'd been released from Chicago. Many scoffed at the idea, how quick they were to change their minds. His performances in that postseason, especially against the Kobe Bryant-led Los Angeles Lakers in round 1, reminded everyone what the forward was capable of. In the 7-game victory, Thomas averaged 15.5 points and made 47% of his three-pointers. In game 1, he had 22 points, as many as Kobe, and 15 rebounds, and was being praised afterwards as the key factor in the game. Game 6, however, was perhaps his ultimate "this is what I do" party. Not only did he have another double-double, 21 points and 10 rebounds, but also it was his three-pointer with 6 seconds remaining in regulation to send the game to overtime, in which Phoenix won 126-118. After coming up big in the clutch and helping the Suns move on, in the next round 2, this time against the Los Angeles Clippers, the forward's productivity remained at a high level, with 14.7 points and 6 boards per game, with 36.8% from downtown in a 4-3 win for the Suns. Though the Dirk Nowitzki-led Dallas Mavericks ended the Suns' hopes in the conference finals, Thomas's contribution in that series as well didn't go unnoticed, especially the fact that he shot 51.7% from deep. That season didn't end as many Suns fans had hoped, but they are to this day grateful because undoubtedly without his performances, especially against the Lakers, the 7 seconds or less group would have had an embarrassing and early end to their season as a 2 seed to the 7 seeded LA. So what transpired in the 2006 offseason wasn't all that surprising. The Los Angeles Clippers bet that the forward's playoff run of 15 points and 5.5 rebounds per game on 44.5% from deep was worthy of a 4-year, $24 million deal. Though this is a small amount when compared to the money handed out today, you'd be hard-pressed to find Clipper fans that were satisfied with his play for their team. Perhaps even worse, some accused him of once again being complacent and disinterested, saying they felt Thomas had only played that strongly for the Suns in order to ensure a solid payout in free agency. You can notice the pattern here, right? 2 great contract years for him, resulting in 2 big contracts and nothing in the middle. Ringer's Bill Simmons had even mentioned an unforgettable 2007 game when Tim Thomas played 30 minutes without ever crossing either three-point line.
You know, when I had Clippers season tickets during the really dark times, they had that 2006 playoff run. Tim Thomas, it was despicable what he was doing. I was outraged in the stands. I remember writing about this time. I went to a game where it seemed like he was determined not to cross either three-point line. And he was just like, he had made a bet with a buddy, could I play this whole game without ever crossing the three-point line?
Another problem was that the forward battled injuries, and ultimately Clipper fans tend to forget the Tim Thomas experience, though they believed at the beginning that he would be the missing piece for perhaps even a finals push. From Los Angeles, stints with the Knicks and Bulls once again followed. It goes without saying that by that point, even the most optimistic fans of his had waved the white flag. His final stop was with the Mavericks in Dallas, which he left after 18 games in order to care for his sick wife. Fair or unfair, his reputation was playing all out at the 2 stops in his career when he was about to get a new contract. Though many fans and experts are quick to set their own, sometimes even unrealistic expectations about a player, which may have hurt the perception of Thomas, you won't find a lot of people that will describe the aforementioned reputation as unfair. Once, Thomas was asked if it was true that sometimes he didn't give his all. Disagree, he said. That's everybody's opinion, but people have their own opinions in this world, and I can't sit here and debate it with everybody. However, the fact that he himself mentioned that it was everybody's opinion, nonetheless, should say something. That's it for now. Let me know in the comments which players should be the next in this Retro NBA section. Subscribe and talk to you in the next one. Peace out.